The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308 and don't miss a single six, wicket or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game with Dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Soccerholics! The highly anticipated soccer pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soccer Stock Pop-Up Party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. to see me, Chrissy D, on Fashion Flair on CBC TV 8. I'll be bringing you the latest fashion trends, fashion ends, and everything in between. Get ready to transform your style, get inspired, and elevate your fashion game with the ultimate guide to looking fabulous. Join me, Chrissy D, this Friday on CBC TV 8 at 6 p.m. for an exciting episode of Fashion Flair.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Soccerholics! The highly anticipated soccer pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soccer Stop Pop-Up Party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV 8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV 8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000.
Morning Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning.
Good morning to you. Good to have you in company for today's presentation of Morning Barbados. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here with you until 8 o'clock today. And what a beautiful day is already. Some drizzles outside. We love it that way, especially for the farmers. Ensure that we get all the rain we need to make sure those crops are growing because we need it. And of course, it's been hot, hot, hot. We have to take you back to that old Caribbean song, right? Feeling hot, hot, hot. And I know that that can be a little challenging, particularly for those of you who are toiling out in the sun every single day. So make sure you get that water in and get some rest away from the direct sunlight and everything else that the doctors tell you to do to make sure that you stay well. So we have a great show planned for you today. You know, there's lots happening. Cropover, there's cricket. Big up to the West Indies. Feel like playing the anthem this morning. You know, it's always great to see the West Indies doing great. We have an update of news coming for you a little bit later here. But this morning we're going to be talking to Kay Hall, who's Education and Outreach Officer at the Barbados Museum. And she's here to tell us about Cosplay, the culture. It's a design competition, and it's a little different from what we're accustomed to. Usually we hear about cosplay when it comes to anime and people who are into a lot of Korean and Japanese culture and so on. But here in Barbados, we have lots of people who love cosplay as well. So we're going to hear a little bit more about that. Barbados' first West Indies jurisdiction of the Church of God in Christ. There's a convocation coming up. So we have a few of the members who are visiting Barbados, others who are here, and they're going to be telling us all about that as well on today's program. So it's always great to hear from them and connect with them and hear how they are working to help to make our society certainly more spiritual and by extension a lot better. And you know, we love to read, so we're going to get an author in here for the next chapter. She's a minister and a coach as well, and she's authored 3 books. Today we're going to take a look at one of those books. It's called Standing on Shifting Sand, and she writes under the moniker Sharon A. Foster. So we're going to find out a whole lot more about that. I know it sounds like a lot today, but we have 2 hours to get through, so there's going to be lots for you to see. And then finally, the 50th year anniversary for the Regent area of the Pinelands community is coming up, and we absolutely want to talk about that as well. So we're going to share more about that. Of course, the Pinelands area, that's right here where we are. So those are our neighbors, and we love to talk about our neighbors. We'll also remind you of the inaugural Owen Author Scholarship that is available. Remember, you only have until the end of the month to apply, so you want to make sure that you make that connection. Now, speaking of connections, we have a Bajan connection in with us today. A little bit more than that. We're going to get to know Keisha Brown a little bit more. She's an attorney at law and founder and CEO of Justice Connection, and is the only Black-owned lawyer service that kind of offers you an opportunity to connect with other lawyers in the U.S., the particular area where she is. However, she has a strong Barbadian connection, and she's here to share. So let's say good morning to Keisha. Welcome. Good to have you with us.
Thank you so much. Good morning. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here.
All right, absolutely. Now, you grew up more or less part Barbadian, so let's talk about that connection first of all.
Oh yeah. No, I've been coming to Barbados since I was like 1 year old. Have pictures of me in the sand and in the countryside, and so very much coming here and being in Barbados is being home.
Yeah, tell me about your early memories in coming to Barbados, having 2 Barbadian grandparents.
Yeah, no, I have fond memories of ham cutters, of being in the country, and I remember one time an older aunt, she had rabbits, but the rabbits were for breeding and for cooking and so forth, and so being a little traumatized when I was a child, saying, oh, I love these rabbits, and they were like, don't get too attached to them, but just really being able to be around family. Right, and a lot, of course, the pool and the beach, but really being able to connect with my family and around food and just fellowship.
All right, that's beautiful. So it's wonderful that we now know your Bajan connection. Right. So let's start by finding out a little bit more about the legal connection.
When it comes to finding a lawyer, would you know how to go about finding the right one? One service has tapped into a need in the Black community, and it's helping both clients and Black attorneys.
Hey, how are you?
When she first set out to become an attorney,
totally, I would love that.
Keisha Brown immediately found herself fielding questions.
From the minute I started law school, I felt like people have been asking me for lawyer referrals.
So she decided to formally do that.
Yeah, no, I can send that email out.
And Justice Connection came to be.
Justice Connection is the first Black lawyer referral and legal resource platform.
Potential clients fill out a free form online to find a Black attorney that fits their needs in states from Florida to New York and expanding out to Illinois and Texas, among others. Attorneys pay a fee to be a part of Justice Connection. But just finding a Black attorney can be a challenge. Out of the 1.3 million lawyers in America, less than 5% are Black.
It's hard to find someone sometimes. You don't necessarily know where to look.
Everyone deserves that opportunity.
That's what brought Patricia Brown to Justice Connection.
It was important to me to make sure that our legal representation was diverse.
Brown is president and CEO of the National Children's Center, which focuses on helping kids, some with physical and intellectual challenges.
Why was it important for you all to have that diversity in your legal representation?
We want to show that we're representative of the community. And so that's very important. And also that person will have a different feel for what the challenges are.
When clients, lay people engage with the legal field, it can be intimidating.
Sean Trice is a business attorney who found unexpected clients through Justice Connection.
And although they've been focused on African American attorneys, I have gotten clients that weren't African American from Justice Connection, which is really good. It's not just for Black people to use Black attorneys. Anyone can use Justice Connection. Anyone can choose to support minority attorneys, African American attorneys.
Perfect.
Which is what Keisha Brown says is the goal.
In this country, Black people have had a very unique history, and the legal system has historically and continues to be one where it is very challenging for us to navigate, where we are marginalized and even oppressed. I want folks to feel empowered.
In the hopes of finding balance on the scales of justice.
All right, so that's a great way for us to tell us, what your entire business is all about. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
And tell us, where it came from and how it came into being. Because a lot of the times we have an idea, but to be able to see it through is what makes all the difference.
Yes, I have much respect for the entrepreneurs out there, right? And folks who have a dream, a vision in their belly. Right. And for me, it was about just seeing this need over and over again from the minute I started law school, and recognizing that when we don't have solid legal resources that we can go to, whether it's for a will, whether it's for a business, whether it's for our family, there are so many different areas that we actually could avail ourselves of the law, of the justice system, but we don't even realize that we have a legal problem that requires a legal answer. And so as Black people, especially in the US, we're navigating a system that was not created by us or for us. And so having someone who looks like you, who comes from your community, who lives in your community, who's invested in your community, is essential to help you navigate this system, right? This legal system. And so for me, I said, I'm going to build this system that I wish existed.
For a lot of us here, and when I say here, I mean in the Caribbean, it's often difficult to make that connection with African Americans because of where we come from, a predominantly Afro society as compared to you being in a society where African Americans are a minority. Why do you think that far intensifies in a far greater way the need for you to be able to make that connection beyond finding someone who looks like you?
Yeah, I think that the letter of the law is what the letter of the law is, but it is the interpretation of the law that is the legal work of lawyers. And so connecting with the right lawyer who believes in you and is willing to fight for you is essential. And all too often, wherever we are as Black people, we sometimes feel that we are lucky to get a lawyer. Oh, they took my case. When the reality is that it is an honor to represent someone in the legal system. And so in the States especially, it is, treacherous, right? It can be very treacherous as a Black person. And the lawyers in the network aren't just African American, they're Caribbean, they're African, they have ancestral connections, they were born outside of out of the US. And so there's the whole diaspora, if you will, represented in the league of attorneys who are part of the Justice Connection Network. Because Black lawyers want to serve their community, they want to be a resource, but we as lawyers are trained in the law, not in how to outreach or market or advertise. And those things are so essential now in a digital world. You've got to be able to get out beyond the borders of your office to reach the people, and that is part of the work of Justice Connection, to educate and empower Black people in the law as well.
Now, either literally or figuratively, what are some of the major wins that you've had through the Justice Connection in the time that you've been in existence?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I'd say is most rewarding, if you will, is connecting and hearing from Black people who, or anyone really, I've had white people as well, but hearing people get assistance. Right? First and foremost, there's a joy that comes when Black people know that this network exists. There's a resource that's a one-stop shop where I can find lawyers who look like me, right, who are interested in representing me. That right there reminds me, especially when it gets hard sometimes, right, that we need this as a community. It has to exist, right, for us to be able to have options. And that's really what it's about. You don't have to hire a lawyer tomorrow, right? I'm not here to say everybody needs a lawyer on day one, but at some point in life, more chances than not, you will need an attorney, right? And so that might even just be advice. It's not always going to court, but having those situations. I've had one woman, and she called, she said, oh my gosh, I was able to get help from this attorney. I called, he helped me on the spot, right? Being able to answer my legal question, being able to help me with my problem. And I feel so much better, right? And I'm so glad that this exists, and I'm telling all my friends, right? And so sometimes being able to have those opportunities come through where I get to hear how someone is helped by connecting with an attorney that they might not have ever found, or they might not have even tried, but for Justice Connection.
Now, in recent years, we most certainly, people outside of the U.S. have seen a relationship that's been inflamed by so much going on. From where we sit, the George Floyd incident in particular, really gripped not only the nation and African Americans, but people around the world. Yeah. And from where we sit, we saw a drastic difference in terms of how people stood up for each other publicly. So I would like you to kind of place incidents like that within the context of what you're doing and the importance of it after this short break. Yeah. So it gives you a minute to kind of gather your thoughts and think a little bit about it. All right? So we're going to take a break and come back here as we continue to speak with Keisha Brown, who is an attorney at law, founder and CEO of Justice Connection, but she also has a strong Bajan connection. So we're connecting with her today. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. to see me, Chrissy D, on Fashion Flair on CBC TV 8. I'll be bringing you the latest fashion trends, fashion ends, and everything in between. Get ready to transform your style, get inspired, and elevate your fashion game with the ultimate guide to looking fabulous. Join me, Chrissy D, this Friday on CBC TV 8 at 6 p.m. for an exciting episode of Fashion Flair.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Black lawyers are only 4.9% of all lawyers in this country. And so it means that Black America needs to search for that 5%. It's essential not just for Black lawyers to be there for Black people, but for Black lawyers to thrive and be evident for our country to reach its highest height.
All right, so welcome back. We have Keisha Brown in studio with us this morning, sharing not only from the legal or professional standpoint, but we're also connecting on a little bit of her Barbadian roots. So before we went to break, I started talking about us observing what's happening in the U.S. And I know the George Floyd incident was a particular sore point for many people, continues to be. And there are many other names that we can call. When it comes to the Justice Connection and what you do, you know, where do you sit post and during events like that? From where we are and looking in, it was quite tense. And since then, it has seemed as though the mention of being African American or Black is almost like you're continuing to kind of lay that line in the sand, and comes with a great deal of ostracism and this and that and the other, and violence to go along with it. So is what we are seeing from the outside what's happening, or is it worse?
Probably worse, right? The country has always been hostile to Black people from its inception, right? And so I think it is of a most critical time that Black people have the resources within the Black community that address their needs, right? Otherwise, we are most susceptible to injustice. If we're looking for someone else to bring it to us, to afford us one day, but for us to be able to tap into our own communities for the legal resources, for all of the types of resources that we need, quite frankly, is essential to our survival and our thriving. Right? And so even so, for example, we have relationships with local Black chambers of commerce where we work together to ensure that the businesses within those chambers have legal resources, have access to legal counsel, those who can help them protect their intellectual property through trademarks or patents or copyrights, to negotiate on behalf of them, to research in their contracts. So all different types of ways that we can be really strategic and intentional about how Black attorneys are serving their communities.
And what are the needs of Black Caribbean people or Caribbean people as compared to what you might be seeing generally from people who are not of Caribbean descent? I know for us, oftentimes, what we need to do surrounds maybe immigration and work and things of that nature. But what are some of their unique needs that you're seeing coming through from this network?
Yeah, I think you're spot on when it comes to our immigration needs and being able to connect with someone who is well experienced and well resourced to help you navigate that system. So that's something that we can definitely be of service for, and as well for the businesses. Bayesian businesses who are looking to do business abroad, whether it's through their contracts, working through international laws, as well as, like I mentioned, protecting their intellectual property, protecting their brand, protecting their genius, right? All of the things that sometimes we take for granted of, especially as business owners, that need to be protected proactively. Right? So that can be getting a trademark in the U.S. to make sure that you're not creating something here that you bring abroad, but then someone else, quite frankly, teeps it, right, and takes it for their own. And so that's something that a lawyer can help you say, hey, let's look at the full landscape of your business and how we can be strategic in making sure that what you're doing in Barbados and how you're building in Barbados is a complement as well to what you're doing here in the U.S. and vice versa. And so having legal counsel that you can have those conversations with in confidentiality, right, is essential for business owners who are looking to really expand.
Now, we saw a lot of testimonies in the video that we showed. How was it received generally when you started reaching out to attorneys across the country to come on board with you for this particular network?
I'm very blessed in that it was received very well. Black attorneys all over the country were like, this is great, this is something that I would use or can use. We focus on those who are in private practice, right? Meaning that they're taking clients from in the public. And so it's essential for those folks to be able to meet new clients. That's how you grow your business. It doesn't matter what your business is. You need new clients. You need new people coming through your door. And in that instance, it's so important for Black attorneys to have access to that new pathway where people can find them. Because we're not taught how to do those things in law school, unfortunately. We're only taught really on the letter of the law and how to analyze, how to write, how to research, how to think, right? And we bring those skill sets to our client, but it really is about having this network that can help bring us all together. We're better together, we're stronger together, and being able to do so with a network that is our focus to make sure that we spread the word, right? That we're able to help educate and empower our communities.
Now, I know the strength in the network is going to be able to grow the network beyond what you've been able to do initially. So what are your plans for growing the network across the U.S. and maybe even beyond its shores? And do you foresee any challenges in being able to do that in the near future?
Yeah, no, great question. I definitely see Justice Connection as global. Right? Black people are everywhere. We are not the minority. And so oftentimes, especially in the States, we are labeled as such, right? But you know the true reason, that the trueness of life, right? That we are everywhere. And so it is essential for us to be able to, if you want to do business in Accra, if you want to do business in Bridgetown, if you want to do business in Baltimore, to be able to connect with someone who has an interest aligned, a natural native interest, if you will, aligned across the diaspora. And so we also see Justice Connection is a legal tech startup. I'm one of the few black female legal tech startups in the country. And so building new legal tech products to really address the needs from the perspective of black people is essential as well. So that's part of the growth for Justice Connection.
A lot of Caribbean people are a lot of times looking to the U.S. for business connections. It's a lot different. It's a lot more difficult to kind of break in. Does this network help to facilitate, people who are looking to move into areas of business? I know the connections will be to lawyers or legal professionals who are able to give direction, but what's your general direction in terms of shaping areas that people can kind of hone in on and say, this seems right for me?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think one of our strengths, as you mentioned, is that lawyer connection. And having that trusted legal advisor who can then help you navigate the different systems. So whether it's connecting you to the right accountant or connecting you to the right business organization. And as I mentioned, we have very strong relationships with Black Chambers of Commerce. So being able to make those connections as well. But one of the things that I envision doing for local chambers of commerce here in Barbados and abroad is being able to do workshops, right, where we bring Black lawyers who are in the States to be able to give that initial information and guidance to the business community. And so that folks can tap in early, begin to get comfortable, begin to become aware, and then be able to make the best choice for themselves and their family and their business on how they want to proceed. But oftentimes that first step is the hardest one. When you don't know who to go to or who to trust, we make sure that we vet our attorneys. So we make sure that they're properly barred in the states that they say they are and that they have no current or pending grievances against them. And then being able to take our platform and build new technologies is part of how we continue to serve our communities, right? Incorporating more artificial intelligence, AI, and natural language processing so that we can broaden our services to reach and serve more people.
Absolutely. So did your services intensify around 2020 based on the fact that so many people were kind of forced to work from home? We most certainly in this part of the world saw a situation where people were far more open to meeting online and meeting professionals online, more so than they did in the past. We have people who, they still want to see you on a one-on-one basis, and I get that, but I know that things changed quite a bit around 2020.
And it really worked right in time for what we're doing at Justice Connection, because that old-time sentiment of, I've got to be right here in front of you and touch you and breathe the same air has sort of dissipated a little bit, and people are more comfortable with that remote video experience, which is perfect for being able to work with a lawyer abroad, right? Because everyone has that video capability now so that you can see your lawyer in the States and be able to have that video conference and have a much more closer connection. So the post 2020, really people becoming more familiar and comfortable with the video experience actually works better for working with an attorney who may be in Georgia, right, but they're licensed to do immigration, and so now you don't have to wait until your cousin can drive down there to do X, Y, and Z. You can connect with a lawyer directly yourself, being in Christchurch, but having that person be based out of California. So you're able to have that connection much more seamlessly now.
All right, so what role does networking play beyond making that initial connection to your entire network? And I say that in the context of holding on to clients even after there's a referral. For example, as we go from state to state, and then of course from country to country, laws differ. So there might be a need for some level of consultation to be going on among or between lawyers, whether it's cross-border or in your particular country or what have you. So once you do that initial referral, is it that they go on to this attorney and they're wholly and solely with them, or do you still keep that connection to be able to make other connections if need be?
That's a great question, right? So like the way it works is that someone comes to Justice Connection, they share through a short inquiry online what their contact information, what the issue is, and then a short write-up blurb around the problem or what they need an attorney for. And then I'm all about giving options. So we'll never say this is the exact attorney that you need to call. We give that information then to the lawyers in the network, and those who say, I'm available, I think I can help this person, will then connect in our system. So then the person who made the inquiry receives an email that says, Tina is available, Sean Trice is available to connect with you, Carrie Davidson is able to connect with you, Deonna Maria Lewis is able to connect with you, and that person now has their contact information, the lawyer has their contact information, and they can connect on their own, right? So it's about giving people the options to see, you can see their profile, you can see their background, you can see some pictures, you can check out their website, their social media, get a feel, do your own research, and then we also send them, here are some sample questions that you might want to ask to get the conversation started. We send them information about lawyer fees, how much they cost. Some do contingency, which means you don't pay until the settlement comes in. So if you get a car accident case or maybe a civil rights violation case, some lawyers do packages, some do prepayment plans, some do free consultations, some do paid consultations. And so it really is, each lawyer has their own practice. And we make the connection so that you can decide who has the best price point, personality, timeline, the things that are important to you to say, this is the right person that I want to hire. And then we make those connections. And the beauty, and sometimes the burden, if you will, with lawyers is they don't do everything usually. So someone who does immigration is likely not to do your will. So people often are repeat customers of Justice Connection, if you will. You might come to us for a business need, and then you turn around and you say, oh, I have an aunt who has some land in South Carolina, and we need to figure out how to do X, Y, and Z and passing it down to the next generation. And so we connect you with a different attorney for that. And it's free for the public to use. So that's how the sort of the system works behind the scenes, if you will.
Yeah, so connections through and through. You don't necessarily just pass through the network, but you're able to kind of navigate your space based on what you need within. And I think that makes a great difference. It's a good model that you're kind of building on. What are you working toward? I know we talked about growing the network. In terms of here in Barbados, I know it's a lot different for us. We're not able to advertise in the way that other professionals do traditionally. So members of the legal profession, the medical fraternity, the advertising is a little different. And I remember that being, very, very out there for me when I saw it. But that's kind of the hallmark of what you see in the U.S. particularly, a very kind of litigious society where people are always ready to kind of sue, as is shown with many of the judge shows, which we like to watch too. So, where do you kind of find your center in the midst of all of that? Yeah. I think oftentimes it's important to kind of reconnect with your Caribbean roots as well, because our perspective is a little different from the straight up Americans when it comes to the way we approach certain things, particularly legal things. So how has your connection, not only in Barbados, but you have a strong Jamaican connection as well, kind of shaped your legal compass or your moral compass? If the two meet at all, for some lawyers it doesn't, in terms of how you approach the way that you look at legal matters.
Great question. I think I having grown up in a West Indian household, it is in me, right? It's in my fiber. And so I take that everywhere I go. And in creating and building and shaping Justice Connection, it really is subconsciously and consciously incorporating a business that looks at it from our perspective, right? Making sure that the imagery looks like us, that it sounds like us, that we are aware that the Black community in the United States is not a monolith, and that we have needs that meet the entire spectrum as Black people. And being able to be very sensitive to that, and helping educate attorneys as well, so that we as a legal profession are meeting our people's needs in the best way possible. But I think, quite frankly, that one of the greatest blessings of my life is being able to be of West Indian descent, right? And have a home outside of the United States, and the connection of a people who are super resilient and resourceful, and by nature are entrepreneurs, right? And who have overcome so much, and who are leaders in the world, right? Barbados and Jamaica are two of the best islands that you can ever have in the Caribbean. And so Bajans are leaders in the Caribbean, right? And so I take that with me wherever I go. And it's, you know, it'd be funny, whenever I'm in meetings, there's usually Caribbean people there, right? So when I talk about Barbados, you'll have someone say, oh, don't forget Antigua, right? And sort of pipe up. But it gives people space, too, to be able to embrace their full selves. That you don't have to be super rich to have a lawyer. That you don't have to come from a certain pedigree to have access to legal resources. But it is something that we all need and deserve, to have quality legal counsel. Someone who's looking at this from a different perspective. Because we go to law school and spend all that money and all that time to really get some stuff, right? To get something that helps us look at the world a little differently. And it is something of value, which is why it's something that for us, educating and empowering the public is so important. Because oftentimes we think of the law as something lofty on that hill that only certain people get access to.
Unreachable.
Unreachable.
And sometimes untouchable too. Yeah, but it's been good connecting with you. I know that you're working toward getting your true Bajan connection, and I certainly hope that works out. I know sometimes it can be a challenge to kind of navigate the space. Some years ago, I did a series for our 50th anniversary of independence on Barbadians who've immigrated specifically to the New York City area. And it brought some very interesting things to the fore for me. And one of the interesting things is that by second generation, a lot of Caribbean children don't even know about home anymore. So it's wonderful that here you are, a third generation Barbadian, second generation Jamaican, and you still feel so connected to the Caribbean, to Barbados and Jamaica. It means that your parents and grandparents continue to do something right and continue to share about their home with you, which I believe makes all the difference and keeps those connections flowing, which is what you're all about through and through.
Definitely. No, I appreciate being here. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you and your network, because I do want to be of service. Right? It is about being of service to our people. So when folks are looking for an attorney, they can come to Justice Connection. Check us out online, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, so that we can stay connected and be of service to the Bajan community.
All right. And of course, you wanted to send out a very special message, but we'll do that next time about getting those legal papers here in order. I'm sure there are quite a few people that can help you out as well. We can make that connection for you.
All right.
Wink, wink. All right, Good to see you. I certainly hope you enjoyed a lot of the island, and saying that you've been here from really a toddler. I mean, you're Bajan already, and having Bajan grandparents, I know what it is. They don't forget home.
No.
They
I've been
never
eating
forget home.
cuckoo and pigtail and everything from little one, right? So shout out to all my favorite spots. Brown Sugar, still a tear coming down my eye because Brown Sugar hasn't reopened. Sorry, I had to slip that in. That was my favorite restaurant in the whole place, whole world. Brown Sugar, loved it.
We'll just charge you on the way out by the door. Yeah, you can pay the advertising. I'm
That's
kidding.
right.
All right, so Keisha Brown, attorney at law and founder and CEO of Justice Connection. Interesting network to be able to kind of jump online and connect on a network that gets you connected with just the right attorney for whatever you're looking for is certainly novel. All right, so it's time for a break here on Morning Barbados, but there's lots more coming, so stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Soccerholics! The highly anticipated soccer pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soccer Stock Pop-Up Party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue. All new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Before 7 o'clock, good to have you with us here on Morning Barbados. Now, This is a very interesting segment that we're going to get into. We're talking about cosplay, but usually we don't talk about cosplay and culture when it comes to Barbados and kind of bringing it all together. There's a design competition that is happening. Kay Hall is an education and outreach officer at the Barbados Museum, and she's joining us remotely to tell us a little bit more about it. Good morning to you, Kay.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me on the program.
Wonderful to have you here. Cosplay, the culture design competition. Let's hear a little bit about the origins of the competition and why you decided to incorporate cosplay into this particular competition.
Well, the museum's actually been working with the cosplay community in Barbados for, I think, about 3 years now. We run a program every summer, 2 programs simultaneously. One is our Junior Creator Program, which is just about 30 years old. The other one is a younger program we started with the Barbados Community College for their Theatre Arts Department. Both internships immerse our students in their history, heritage, and culture for the summer. And one of the outputs of that program is that they have to design something which will help educate other young people and help connect them to that heritage and culture. So we first had an event called Cosplay at the Museum, which was the brainchild of Trey Robinson, one of our students from our second intake, I believe, of BCC interns. And his educational product was to do a cosplay event at the museum where instead of dressing up as Superman, Batman, Japanese anime, we chose instead costumes based on our history, heritage, and culture. The presentation was so well put together and so interesting that we thought that we would try it out just to see. It was actually quite successful. So we're in our 3rd year, as I said. It's going to be towards the end of October, November this year. We're not fixed on the dates yet, but coming out of that, there've been a number of other offshoot events which have been encouraging that small, vibrant cosplay in Barbados to get in touch with their heritage and culture, and to explore the ways how they can do their cosplay, enjoy their cosplay, but connect to themselves as Barbadians. So this year, we got some of the same people who sponsored Cosplay at the Museum agreed to come on board and sponsor again to do for Heritage Month this cosplay costume design competition, which again is intended to sort of broaden that outreach, broaden that public awareness that you can, in fact, do lots of interesting and cool stuff, which is a part of our God-given, our inherited culture and heritage. So that's going to be for the entire of Heritage Month. And if you permit me to share my screen, I can sort of give you an idea of the types of things that we're looking for people who are entering the competition. Is that
Absolutely.
okay?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so that's...
Now, while you try to sort that out, talk to me about the response and what it has been like. Okay, there it is. I'm going to let you go with it.
Right. So basically, this is actually a presentation that I've done for the schools because some of the schools have come back to us after we started the competition. They're also interested in seeing what types of things that exist in our heritage and culture. We've not limited it to Barbados. We've based at the Caribbean and so on. But for example, we show how these costumes are linked to things in our African heritage and culture. So that's the Shaggy Bear, that's in the Gungun, that's in our museum. You can come if you want to take a closer look. But basically, the idea is to explore these. This one is actually a product of the work of Reese Chatterton Charles. She's a local photographer. She's been working with the museum. There's currently a decolonial exhibition where she's done some work with our photographic collection with a group of like-minded artists. And they've produced some beautiful, fabulous artwork where you can see how we can look at the types of images that you would ordinarily see back from the colonial perspective, but with a more modern, with a more decolonial perspective. And the makeup in this was done by Mandy Hoyas, but basically this is based on the heart. This is a graphic design also based on the Heartman, but as you can see, it's not much different from the types of things that you will see in your anime and in your cosplay and so on. So the idea is to link people to looking at things that will work with what is our culture and heritage while allowing them to still enjoy the things we're doing. We've included the Stiltman, for example, and it's our work is international. As you can see that image to the far right, that is Daredevil versus Stiltman. That's an actual comment. So they've been using our heritage and culture. It's time for us to use our Moongazer. Again, we're seeing these things. This again is Nala dressed up as Mr. Harding. This is the work of Tracy Greenwich. He's one of our local artists. Our artistic community is very, very much on board with exploring modern iterations of this history, heritage, and culture. And we're basically trying to encourage more people to do so by having this competition. Anansi, again, another image. Everybody's very familiar with Anansi. It's our African heritage. How many of us are aware that Stan Lee has publicly admitted that his Spider-Man is based on Nancy? How many of us know that that Neil Gaiman image, again, is based on our heritage and culture of Anansi? So the idea is to explore that, do that for our own. Lugaru, that's our version of the bear. And of the werewolf. Those are the images that we can do. So it's not that we can't do interesting and exciting images which are still modern and hip and interesting. The idea is for us to connect again with that image. This is another image, the one on the left. That is again the work of Greenwich. So basically the idea is to get more and more people, maybe more mainstream artists interested in this idea, able to submit some costumes. So basically, I'm going to stop sharing right now, just to come back to talking to you. But basically, the idea is that we just want to be able to encourage people to become more aware of that heritage and culture, to become more in touch with that heritage and culture. The museum, actually, that's why I'm overseas. The museum just became recognized by UNESCO as an associated NGO under the Intangible Cultural Heritage Convention. And the idea is that we are continuing to push the idea of getting Barbadians more and more in touch, more and more a part of acknowledging and accepting our intangible cultural heritage. The idea too is to meet people where they are instead of trying to say, let's introduce a concept that's totally unfamiliar to you. So connect them where they are to things that are already familiar to them, to sort of use that as the opening of the door to really get people into exploring the history, heritage, and culture. We're going to be doing a number of other projects under that new NGO status. We're going to be helping the Division of Culture populate our intangible cultural heritage register with some more of our young people over the summer, for example. We're also looking at the way how intangible cultural heritage can be used to help us safeguard our environment in times of climate change. So all of these exciting things, of which this competition is just one aspect. To enter the competition, you can either create the costume from scratch and send us photographs or a video, or you can submit drawings. They are to be submitted to educate@barbmuse.org.bb. That's educate, EDUCATE, at barbmuse, BARBMUSE.org.bb. On or before midnight on June 30th at the end of Heritage Month. We've got some very, very exciting prizes on board. Deanna Dash, I should say, is a sponsor. You see how I'm showing my age. And also some of the more prominent players in the anime community are on board. So we've also got a sponsorship from AnimeCon. We've got a bit of sponsorship from Anime Spot. They're all contributing prizes. So all the cosplayers out there, they're citing stuff that you can win. We're not going to share this early up what the prizes are. You'll hear what they are closer to the end of the competition. But we do think that there will be a great and exciting opportunity. And of course, the winners will be featured on our social media platforms so people can see the wonderful, wonderful work that they've done.
All right, well, this is a lot of wonderful stuff. I love it. And of course, your presentation kind of brought it all home across the Caribbean and here in Barbados when we talk about these cultural figures, some of them scary, some of them fun, some of them strictly heritage. And with all the stories that go behind them, this can only augur well to keep the culture going. So thanks for coming in and sharing with us, Kay. We most certainly look forward to sharing more about these cosplay figures for the culture, because I know for many people when we think the Sukuyan, when we think the Dapi in Barbados, when we think the Heart Man, for those of us who are old enough to remember the stories, it's important that we, one, share the stories, and two, you might have an image in your head of what a Dapi has looked like for years, but to be able to put that on paper and share it makes all the difference. So congrats to you and the museum on this move toward cosplay, the culture design competition. Remember, you have up until June 30th to get in on that competition, and you're submitting your entries via email to educate@barbnews.org.bb. We look forward to seeing you want to get back, Kate, and be sure to share that presentation with me. I want to read it through a little bit more. I was trying to catch as much as I could as you shared it on the screen. Thank you.
Well, I basically take that presentation wherever I'm invited. So if you want, I can bring it in and show everybody. But it's something that I share with people about. She got an educational chat group that basically once we've developed a presentation for one school or one teacher, we share it with everyone else in the group. But the idea is to take that informal learning. I tell everybody my youngest student is 2, my oldest student is 102. As long as I can hold a conversation with you, I can teach you about your history, heritage, and culture. Thanks so much for having me.
Good stuff. History, heritage, and culture on display with Cosplay, the culture. I know a lot of ears have pricked up for this one. I look forward to all the creativity that will come out. It's time for a break here on Morning Barbados. We still have an update of the news coming your way and lots more, so stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. to see me, Chrissy D, on Fashion Flair on CBC TV 8. I'll be bringing you the latest fashion trends, fashion ends, and everything in between. Get ready to transform your style, get inspired, and elevate your fashion game with the ultimate guide to looking fabulous. Join me, Chrissy D, this Friday on CBC TV 8 at 6 p.m. for an exciting episode of Fashion Flair.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Time now for an update of the news. Member of Parliament for Christchurch West Central, Adrian Medic Ford, vows to continue walking the avenues of his constituency as government works towards cleaning up the streets. He was speaking during a walkthrough of his constituency following 2 shootings a month apart that have left some residents uneasy. Given the concern caused by these shootings, the MP says a police outpost will soon be re-established in the area.
It's about all of we. It's a collaborative effort. So it's not only the MP walking and trying to get persons to channel the energies in a better direction. It is the mummy in the neighborhood. It is the daddy in the neighborhood. It's the uncle. It's the old Trojans in the neighborhood to come and tell these young people what you're doing is wrong. This is the alternative way. It is a way called a collective effort of every single person in the neighborhood, because I equally believe that a village can raise a child, but the only way it is possible, in my mind, is if that village sees itself as a extended family to that child.
And MP Ford says government will remain committed to assisting communities.
We will give them the opportunities and the platform. Bearing in mind that a mind, especially a young mind, scratched with an experience, a new experience, once it is good, will never go back to its old dimension. We are going to give young people those new exciting experiences with the new technologies and the new advancement, but equally we are saying to them they have to grapple them and nurse those opportunities so that they could help build Barbados and build Barbados to be a great place that each one of us know it can be.
A fresh call is being made for fathers to step up. The principal of the Eagle Hall Primary School is making the plea as her school kicks off its annual Male Week. Wendy Burke has all the details.
Principal of Eagle Hall Primary School, Amaria Prempe, wants to see more fathers playing a role in the lives of their children. She made the call at the launch of the school's Male Week, where she also appealed to mothers not to prevent fathers from fulfilling their responsibilities.
We recognize that our young men are having a lack of parenting in the form of males being at home. So you're always noticing that the mothers are there, but we are calling now for the men to step up and to be involved in the children's lives where they are helping with their development. It is necessary for them to be with persons that they look like and that they can recognize and feel proud to aspire to be.
This year, Male Week is themed Today's Boys, Tomorrow's Tourism Stars, in recognition of the prospective impact that young boys can have in the industry. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, the BHTA, Ryan Ford, told the students to take pride in their country, themselves, their school, and neighborhoods. He also says more males are needed to work in the tourism sector.
There's so many opportunities. Persons think that the tourism industry is only for you to go out and serve a guest, food and beverage, or to check in a room, but there are many other opportunities. When you go into engineering, we have to develop and build new properties or refurbish properties or just maintain them. There's also opportunities in management and leadership, but some of the areas that we also need to get across to our people is that the ownership. We need to be able to develop and grow from entry-level internships into team members, into management, into general managers, and then into owners.
Meanwhile, Chair of Male Week 2024, Ronaldo Gilks, says the fun-filled activities planned for this week will be centered around the week's theme.
There are a number of positive things happening amongst males, and let me throw many of industries, whether it be sports, whether it be education, most notably tourism, because that's what we're going to be celebrating this year in particular. That is the industry we're supporting or celebrating. Last year we showed or acknowledged appreciation for the service industry.
Activities for the week include brunch with the boys, concert tours, and a discussion and a picnic.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Preparing local accountants for current and future changes in the profession is part of the agenda of the 41st Annual Conference of Accountants at Wyndham Grand Sam Lords Castle Resort later this month. Word of this from Chairman of the Organizing Committee, David Simpson, who says the conference will be hosted by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados.
Our theme for the conference is actually Together Towards the Future. We think, retool, and respond. So the accounting profession supports businesses, as you know, and with all of the changes, not only to our profession, but across the business landscape, we thought that this year we needed to have our delegates focus on how we can move forward together, the profession and those that we serve, and yet still pay attention to the needs of ourselves as members of the profession on an individual basis. So we're going to rethink how we do things, how we need to change in response to what's happening in the external environment. We will consider how we retool ourselves, our practices, as well as assist our clients in retooling their businesses, and of course then what is on the table for us to critically respond to.
He says a look at functioning in a continuously changing workspace and being outspoken professionals will precede a professional discussion on net zero initiatives.
The accounting profession, like most of the rest of the world, has had to respond to the whole concept of sustainability and all of its iterations. This is part of the whole ESG agenda, and environmentally friendly approaches, reporting on environmentally friendly companies and initiatives and so on, has now become center stage for us as accountants. So that panel, which features one of the accounting firms who's a sponsor, it features the University of the West Indies, the UN Global Compact, and others, is to help us get that point out about net zero initiatives and how the accountants are going to respond from a reporting perspective.
And that's our update of news at this time. 12 noon here on TV8. We have Newsday coming your way, so stay tuned for that. Also via our radio network of stations, 94.7 FM, 100.7 FM, and 98.1 The One. We have The World at 1 at 1 p.m. Morning Barbados continues after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love Crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Soccerholics! The highly anticipated soccer pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soccer Stock Pop-Up Party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendly...
Morning, morning, good morning, good morning to you.
So 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, welcome back. You remember some of these faces that I'm going to introduce you to. They were with us while we were over at the Standard Building for a stint outside when Mornin Barbados was moving around. And they're back because they're literally back in the island to kind of follow through on what we started talking about. So good morning and welcome to all of you.
Good morning.
I'm going to go right ahead and introduce Mother Rosetta Allen, who is Jurisdictional Supervisor of Women, Church of God in Christ. Also here we have Evangelist Antoinette Redwood, who is an evangelist with the Church of God in Christ. We have Pastor Roosevelt Allen Jr., Convocation Chairman with the Church of God in Christ. And also here is Elder Horace Marcel, Jurisdictional Financial Secretary, Church of God in Christ.
Yes.
So again, welcome. Good to see all of you again. And good to see the new faces joining us as well. So I'll start with a familiar face.
Okay.
Mother Allen, talk to me a little bit about the Church of God in Christ here in Barbados and the convocation. So we set the table for where we're going today with our discussion.
Right. Here on the island, the Church of God in Christ has 3 churches that are in our jurisdiction, the Barbados First West Indies jurisdiction. And 2 of them are in St. Philip's, and then one is closer here right to the studio. And so they're already doing the work. They've laid out the work, and what we do for the convocation is our meeting. We come together with the churches that are in the jurisdiction from the states. We join in with the churches here in Barbados, and we do the work together to serve God, do ministry, and touch lives together. And the convocation is the culmination of it all.
All right, wonderful. Now, Pastor Allen, you are the chairman, which means, you know, that's a heavy title, comes with lots of work, I'm sure, but we're now at the 35th Holy Convocation, so put that in perspective for us. We're sitting here and talking about this event of sorts that's coming up, but obviously it's been in the works for quite some time.
It's in the works. It's a year-long process. We work together with pastors here on the island as well as people back in the States to cover a wide host of things that will cover mind, soul, body, and spirit. So it's a year-long process.
All right, and Elder Horace, you know, you had the good fortune of being here before to kind of help pave the way for where we are now. So what's happening now? What can those members of the church look forward to with this particular convocation?
Well, they can look forward to some great services. We have a graduation on Wednesday night for our graduates for the Barbados Institute. We have 16 people graduating this year. Then we have a wonderful service Thursday and Friday night. We have our Impact 2020 charity project on Thursday morning, and on Saturday we'll be dealing with the kids, and one of our other members will talk about that. So they've got some wonderful things to look forward to, and the culmination on Sunday morning, 9 o'clock Sunday school and 10 o'clock service, with a nice reception afterwards for the members of the jurisdiction.
That's beautiful stuff. Evangelist Redwood, your role is an important one, to be on the ground and share the word. Talk to me about the work the church has been doing here in Barbados and how this convocation kind of brings it all together.
Well, I am the Sunday School Field Representative for the island of Barbados for West Indies. And on Sunday morning, we will open up with our Sunday school. And what we do is have classes. We have 3 classes going on for the youth, the adults, and the little small children. And at that time, we teach the Word of God to start off our convocation. And our aim is to, as our mother said, our supervisor, is to serve God, do ministry, and touch lives together.
Now, the theme this time around is we've got work to do, and we most certainly do. So, Mother, talk to us about what that entails. What I love about what you bring is you kind of make sure, and this is seen throughout the church, but I think it makes a difference. You know, women, that's for you to hold on to. You grab the children, we're going to work in other areas to kind of pull it all together. So, we've got work to do as a theme, really ties into what has to be done.
It does. Our presiding bishop, Bishop J. Drew Sheard, which is over the entire Church of God in Christ, the largest Black Pentecostal church in the world, he came up with the theme. The Lord gave him the theme, we've got work to do. And it immediately resonated with everyone because, especially since post-COVID, I think we all came back realizing that we have work to do. Yes. We've got to make up for time. We've got to make sure that we make good use of the time. And as we are working together in the vineyard, we've got to do it together. And so we are here on the islands to join in with our sister churches to do the work together, because many hands make light work. And so we have found that we all deal with the same issues. And in dealing with the same issues, we can have the same resolutions, we can go about it, we can accomplish the goals and the objectives of our respective churches, but more importantly, we can touch more people. And so this is truly a work, and it's a work that is very gratifying, and it glorifies God.
That's beautiful. Pastor Allen, let's talk about the highlights on the calendar. I know that we mentioned a few of them quickly in passing, but just so people are absolutely sure how they can kind of get in on it, even if they're not directly a part of the church.
Okay, highlights. First of all, the services that Elder Marcel spoke of will take place at the Hilton. Those will be nightly at 7 p.m. He did mention a graduation. We have a Bible Institute, wonderful institute. That graduation service will be at the Hilton at 7 p.m. as well. On Saturday with the youth, their STEM activities, we're so happy about that. We have Dr. Bennett is on the island from the States, going to work with the students with science, technology, engineering, and math. We love young people. And so on Saturday, we're going to get with them in St. Philip's, do some wonderful things, pour into them, feed them, school supplies, other highlights. I think there are about 20 organizations we're servicing this year for Impact 2020 to go around and support them in their activities. And this is just not a one and done thing. We want to support them, get plugged in, and also have pastors and sponsors here on the island get plugged in as well. So those are the highlights. But come out to the Hilton. We're there every night at 7 p.m. and we're there Sunday morning at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. But those are the highlights. I hope I hit them all.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's telling you that you did. You know, is there any form of registration that is necessary for people to be able to participate?
Well, we want people to just come on out and enjoy the services. Now, for the Saturday event with the children, it would be helpful if they can contact one of the three churches, which is Overcomers, that's in St. Philip's. And then the Next Level Church God in Christ has Pastor Glenn Jones in St. Philip's as well. And then Husbandman, which is Pastor Johnny Samuels at the and that their local church. If they want to, they can connect with one of those pastors. Let us know that the children are coming. We just want to make sure the count is right, because we plan on being having a very good time for the children. Make sure we cover them. But no registration for the nightly services, nor for Sunday. But they do want to kind of connect with them, the pastors, let them know that they're coming out, because we have supplies and things we want to give to the children. So we'll make sure we have enough for everybody. That's
beautiful. Evangelist Redwood, you know, because you have kind of that overarching view for the children, I'm sure that you're very happy that there's such a focus on not only giving to the children, but bringing them along educationally and otherwise.
Yes, indeed. The more the merrier.
All right, good stuff. I want to thank you all for coming in and sharing with us. And we certainly look forward to what's coming up this weekend. It's a lot. But, you know, make sure you get on out on Saturday for the little ones. I love that they're presenters who will be presenting on STEM and other things, telling you all about the 35th convocation. We've got work to do. And we know we do here in Barbados, particularly with everything that's happening. That's why I believe this is so timely. So get out and bring those little ones. Got to bend the tree while it's early. You know what I'm talking about. So make sure we do it. All right, time for another break, but stay with us. Lots more is coming.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. to see me, Chrissy D, on Fashion Flair on CBC TV 8. I'll be bringing you the latest fashion trends, fashion ends, and everything in between. Get ready to transform your style, get inspired, and elevate your fashion game with the ultimate guide to looking fabulous. Join me, Chrissy D, this Friday on CBC TV 8 at 6 p.m. for an exciting episode of Fashion Flair.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN and MC.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, welcome back to Morning Barbados on this Tuesday. Sometimes I lose track of days. You know how the days are going? It feels like they're going so quickly. I think we change our perception of time and days as we get older. When you're younger, it feels like the days are so long and there's nothing to do. You could be bored and it's boring. And then you get old and the days are short and you can't get everything done. Oh, that's just my perception. Maybe we'll have to do some studying about it. Speaking of old, I'm kidding. All right, so they're celebrating 50 years. As a community and doing fantastic things. We're talking about the Regent Hill family, and it really is a reunion that is happening. So good morning to you, gentlemen. Ivan Speedford is here, and Sean Jones is here as well. Both community members and community practitioners as well. Just kind of years and years of getting your community together. So congratulations to you for the work that you've done through the years, first of all, and being able to celebrate 50 is a major thing. I'm going to start with you, Ivan. Talk to me a little bit about the community itself, because you really have been a beacon for the entire island in terms of mobilizing the community, getting things done. We've seen all types of competitions through the years and just a level of camaraderie that other communities have followed.
Keisha, the main thing about it, of the days and the organizing of this family reunion, along with the Regents football, we decided that some violence erupted in the Pine a couple of months ago. So I was thinking about some way, how could we make our community better? Being Regent Hill, maybe like what we would say, the capital of the Pine, everything happened mostly at Regent Hill, So I decided, with all the violence and everybody trying to find a way, how could we curb this violence thing? So I decided I could get the residents to come and let me have a family call. I think the family will bring back everything together. I think every family, the family's got to come together more now to get rid of some of this violence and things, because every family together, I think everything will be nice. So we decided that if we could get a family there, and start off, I think it could be a model for the rest of Barbados. It could be a model for the rest of the Pine, because we like to see, like the other parts of the Pine, like Martins Road, whole of family there, Princess Royal, whole of family there. I think I would shock to the whole of Barbados. Cause even today, eventually people and see what's happening in Gore Hill.
Yeah.
So I decided we could bring this off, and we will get the Regent Hill family to bring it off. So that means everything, people from Regent Hill have to put a hand in it. You understand? We ain't depending on government, we ain't depending on it. We can do it ourselves. So everybody from Regent Hill have to put in something in it.
It's true. Civil society is important for us to kind of lead the charge. Because a lot of the times we talk about the rights we have as citizens, but we don't remember our responsibilities. And I love that you're calling it a family reunion because it reminds us of the fact that we have more in common, that we have differences. And if you kind of hearken it to when we're little, as little children, everybody, run around together. I go down by you, you come up by me, and that really is what's important.
That CNN was telling the resident, we had a mic session the other night, and I think what happened, the elders stay indoors and left the younger people outside. So if the elders could come outside and integrate with the younger generation,
that would be important.
I think it would.
Sean, we've got to bring you in on this conversation. I saw you nodding in agreement.
No, it's very much in agreement. Manners and respect the whole of Barbados.
Yes,
as I must speak, Regent Hill is a beacon, is a hill with a great view. Community wells for years. We produce a lot of sportsmen, entrepreneurs, great people come off this hill. So we're trying to get a voice there again, that the community, as you say, could go on from door to door, meet people, greet people, interact with your neighbors. We want to get about our voice there. We produce a lot of wealth of talent on this hill. So we want to come up for that day and bring back a voice to the community, bring forward a voice that missing in a lot of communities nowadays, because the elders, they got young grandparents and a lot of old grandparents now, and the old ones stopping indoors. We want them to come outside. Youth now, they know about Chinese skips, they know about hopscotch, pickups, that kind of game. So pitching. So maybe we want to do things that old but still young. All this, everybody in the phone, gadgets and stuff like that. So it's to bring the community out down there for Regent Hill, to come out, open your doors this Saturday, 29th of June, and let me just have a good voice on the hill. It's a great view, so it's going to be nice.
Yeah, what are some of the other activities we can look forward to? Some traditional Bajan things, but you're going to do some sporting stuff as well?
Yeah, we along with the Barbados skating organization, they're going to send over some people to do some skating and stuff. We have a guy from by his name, Paulette. He's going to do Steve. And the community got so much talent. Because people just so much talent. I could tell you something, like Richard Stout come from Regent Hill.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ricky Stout come from Regent Hill.
All right, didn't know that either.
Classic Square come from Regent Hill. So the talent that come from, you call him Potato Ford come from Regent Hill.
Wow.
When you look at it, we got Roy Clark come from Regent Hill. You got Carrie Beckers from Regent Hill. The top DJ now, one of the top DJs in Barbados, Molly Fresh from Regent Hill.
Okay.
So we got so much talent at Camp on Regent Hill. We got a lot of nationals from Regent Hill. The last two they are youngsters who are at college now, and Devontae, Theo Richards and Tajir James, who now come back and represent Barbados in the football tournament there. They're from Regent Hill, and it went a large heap on Regent Hill.
For sure.
Yeah. We got Mr. Purple from Regent Hill. These talented things. Then we come to netball. We had Sandra Ferguson, Suzanne Scanterbury, and this girl Margaret. In every aspect of sports or entertainment, someone great come from Regent Hill. So we going to want to honor those people too. We got a lot of politicians come from Regent Hill. Ronnie Grant, Hamilton Lashley.
So it seems like you're making politicians on Regent Hill.
They come here with this guy, Desmond Sands. All of them from Regent Hill, when you got that. One of the first walking races out in Barbados, we had a guy on Regent Hill, Malins. He comes second to Bertie Lashley. All of these things, Roy Clark. He captained Barbados Olympic team in 1976. He from Regent Hill. So when we look at these,
I see the overwhelming pride beaming in your eyes, Ivan. So it's important to have these kind of intra-generational conversations where where we share with a younger generation all these things, some of the people they might not know, but also celebrate the wonderful things they are doing to make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I like the sound that bit web and trying to got right now. That's a drum that shows generation gap there, and that's what we're doing, trying to do forward in the community. That generation gap need to be built there again. We got the youth interacting with the older heads and blending in there, make sure we're going on. We got a young one that coming, junior morning, still finalist right there, semi-finalist right now. Majestic Maya. Yeah. Very talented young lady. So we got a lot of talent. We got people that work one place all their life off of Regent Hill. Financial controllers, working top banks, sales representatives, entrepreneurs. So on the day, it about love, unity, and having fun.
Absolutely. How do people get involved outside of coming out and supporting? Because this is a massive undertaking to be able to kind of bring everybody out. So what do you hope that past residents, current residents, you know, people who are well-wishers all alike do to be able to make this the resounding success it can be?
You see, this is one of the things that we went into. We asked every resident to invite their family who move out to bring them back home for the
family reunion. Got it.
Yeah, bring them back home for the day, you know. So a lot of, one in the houses is going 15 people in one little house. But it's progress time, you know, it's time.
They moved on.
They move on, so the houses. So the ones that move out, we're trying to bring them back into the community on that day so that they can see how the cost. Some don't, you know, things change so much and you can't get back into the old community. So we're making sure that we open the day for them. And the ones who come back that ain't have family there still, they don't have to worry about nothing to eat. We got a kitchen provided for them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You know, we got something set up for them so that when they come, we even got a mattress from it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time I remember somebody else.
Manila Rini.
Yeah.
So you see the type of, and every start check the space of Regent Hill. Regent Hill is just a small little space.
Yeah.
And this guy Cathy is really bringing it up to me, the amount of good people that come from, our great people, or people that put back something to the nation, you know, give back the nation something.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love the initiative. Yeah. And I think what really kind of underpins what you're doing is that you're attempting to do it on your own. A lot of the times you see people sitting back and saying, well, government needs to do this, and you know, other members of NGOs need to do that, commercial entities need to do this. We need to take some of this in hand as well
and do it
to make it happen.
And do it
so it's happening on June 29th?
Yeah.
That's around the corner.
That's a very big
And the
deal.
guy that going to do the stage, he also funny. Everything that going to happen, someone from Regent Hill.
Yeah.
But in the hand, the DJ going to be, and everything is from Regent Hill.
Love it. You were saying something, Sean.
Well, I was just saying, on the day for the Regent Hill there, everything, as I was speaking, community-wise, but if any group, organization want to come and make a contribution or donation, we don't want the cash. We could bring some food vouchers, give it to our chefs. Anybody still want to help out, we're willing to accept any helps still too.
I love it. Get out and be a part of the celebration. We're far away from June 29th, so you're going to hear a lot more about this on Morning Barbados as we continue to share in what's happening with our neighbors in the Pine. And of course, invite you to come back home to the Pine and share with the younger community, younger members of the community.
And Regent Hill, we need to keep a cricket game for the late Terry that is sports.
Yeah.
We need to keep a cricket game in honor of him. I hope we could get back with CBC and bring it back, you know, because we like to, as you know, us, and the Hamalachi Foundation too, we like to do things differently.
Absolutely. And Terry's son now, I think he has to be about 14 by now. Yeah, Terry Mears.
Right, Terry Mears, right. And we by CBC be so good, nice to us. But once we say we want to do, see, we always enhance us. So we decided, and I would like us to bring back that game.
Well, that's all about neighbors. You know, when you have a family reunion, you have to invite the neighbors too.
So, yeah,
we definitely have to come over.
I would like you pass through.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, pass through and see the site and see the day and stuff. I always invite you to something that, and don't forget the football.
We won't forget, but it's a little ways out, so we're giving you a little bit, kind of whetting your appetite for it, so you can wrap your heads around it. And the guys are going to be back to tell us more as it gets a little closer, so that you come out and celebrate. June 29th is the date of the Regent Hill 50th family reunion. I don't know where the 50 comes from. They're going to have to explain that when they come back next time.
Next time.
We explain
that. Yeah? So we'll be right back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game with Dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Soccerholics! The highly anticipated soccer pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soccer Stock Pop-Up Party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend.
And it's called Standing on Sifting Sand. And it's a very interesting memoir. So let's say good morning and welcome her to Morning Barbados. Hello.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
It's wonderful to have you with us. Before we get into the pages, talk to me about what kind of cultivated your love for writing.
Well, ever since I was a little girl, in as way back as in primary school, I always had a passion for writing. I loved the English language. I would be reading, 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 and my dad would be like, "One of these days, your eyes are gonna be looking right back at you," because I was always in a book. Shakespeare fascinated me. English literature fascinated me. I love Greek mythology, so it was just a passion of mine. And I said to myself, someday I am going to be an author.
Oh, that's beautiful. How did you make that transition? When did you sit down to write that very first book? And how did you feel at the end?
Well, I had put it on a shelf for a little while. I didn't think that that dream would ever come into fruition. I honestly didn't. And then, due to a painful separation and almost divorce from my husband, after we got restored, I decided to put it into pen and paper so that I can help other women out there who are going through similar situations. So it wasn't really for me, it was to put my story out there to offer people, the women especially, hope for these marriages that are on the rock, marriages that have been destroyed, by witchcraft. All that is in the book, and that it was what prompted me to write the first book.
Was it difficult to bring this to the public? I mean, this is your personal life, it's a memoir, so as you mentioned, the most intimate details of your marriage and what happened. Was it difficult? Did you have to think through publishing this?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, after I completed it, I had second thoughts, third thoughts, fourth thoughts, and I'm like, I'm actually putting my dirty linen out there for others to read. Hence the reason why I also put it under a pen name. Those who know me, okay, they know it's about me. But those who don't, they'll be like, okay, this is someone's story. So it's very sensitive information. And that's, as I said, that's why use it as a pen name as well. And I did have second thoughts, as I said, but the Lord, that's when I was praying, He said, publish it. I'm gonna you publish it. So I did it out of obedience, and I'm glad I did. I'm really happy that I did.
What was your process like, and do you feel like this was therapeutic for you in some kind of way?
Yes, indeed, it was. It was therapeutic. It was catastrophic. It was, whilst writing it, I had all these emotions just going through me, and it also helped me to heal because after we were restored, I wasn't 100% in that healing process. But after writing the first book and his book as well, because that prompted me to write the third book, which was his journey onto why he was behaving in this particular way. It really helped me to grasp and understand the whole concept of my entire marriage. So it really, really helped me.
All right. How were you able to get it published? I know these days it's a lot easier from what it was before. A few years ago, I dare say less than 20 years ago, if you wanted to publish a book, you had to find a publisher, someone who was interested. Yes. It was very prohibitive. There were very few here in the region for us to choose from. So, how were you able to make that a reality?
I self-published on Amazon, and it took off from there. Fortunately for me, I already have a ministry. As I said, I'm a minister. This also prompted me to become ordained, and I'm also at the helm of another ministry called Let's Make Marriage Great Again. And we have Zoom calls. We have various aspects of the ministry, coaching, mentoring, prayer, so that they too can be back go back to the healing that they will desperately need. Yes, that's the Standing on Shifting Sand. It's, as you said, based on a true story. And I already have a 5-star rating, and that's the guide. That is the prayers that had prompted me to pray for my husband. So that is like a guide for those who wants to know how to pray, what to pray, and all of that. And Jonah's journey is actually my husband's story. Very profound. I mean, it's very chaotic. His journey has been, I mean, unless a man would have probably died from the amount of things that had happened to him. But God has kept him even during his running stages of his life. Even when he was rebelling against God, God had kept him even then. But as I said, back to publishing. It's self-published on Amazon, and it already has a 5-star rating, and because of the followers that I have, and I have a Facebook page, and I also did a book launch. So far it's very good. I mean, I wanted to get more people around the world because it's already in India, South Africa, and America, and the Caribbean.
Now, Alicia, I didn't realize initially that the books were so related in terms of the stories that you share within. Was your husband as open as you were initially to kind of get it down on paper and share his dirty linens, as you put it?
Yes, because whilst we were separated, he had another wife who lived in our home, and she was actually filled with familiar spirits, and one of them had jumped into him and overtaken him and wanted to kill him. I know these sounds very far-fetched, but this is real life. This is reality that happened to us. And when I went to him in the hospital, his sister had awakened me in the middle of the night to tell me that he was dying because he had lost so much blood, and I had to rush to the hospital. And on praying for him, after he was revived, supernaturally, he said the one thing the Lord told him is to come back and make correction and to say his story, because it will help many and countless others. So with much prayer, he was okay with having his story told as well.
What have the reviews been like, Alicia? Because I know for people who are far removed from these stories, sometimes they seem, like you mentioned, so far-fetched. So
Yes.
what has the response been like generally on the ground? You mentioned that the book has been distributed far and wide. Generally, what's the feedback been like?
Okay, I'm actually on the Amazon page right now. I'm going to read what a few people said about it, because yes, it's far-fetched. It's not for everyone. If you don't believe that these things exist, you may not even be able to believe it. But those who know the dark world will know that there is another power that is also against us. And Carmen said, I read this book in one sitting. This is a testimony of the amazing power of. This book is a verifiable page turner. You can feel the pain and joy the author is going through as you read the way the enemy tricks and tries to destroy. God prevails. Sharon shares very intimate details of a prodigal gone astray and shows the immense power of God to restore what the enemy stole. Thank you, Sharon, for giving us standards, hope, and light in the darkness. And someone else said, wow, this is a heavy story and testimony of how things can come about, and just the dread and embarrassment she went through and having to go through all of that, and the Lord restoring view, blessings to them. And it have a few others, but that has been the general consensus of the book.
All right, well, congratulations. We most certainly look forward to reading more, finding out more about these stories that you share from the perspective of a minister, coach, an author, a wife, really, because that's what it's all about.
Yes.
So make sure you
Yes.
look out for these books, Standing on Shifting Sand, under the pen name Sharon A. Foster. And of course, there's Jonah's Journey as well, A Tale of Two Minds. of course, featured today Alicia Parejo on the next chapter, sharing her journey of writing with us. All right, it's time for us to take another break as we get ready to wrap up here on Morning Barbados. Oh, Peter's telling me no, just go. Yeah, just go, Peter. Yeah, Peter's in charge. Yeah, so let me tell you what's coming up on Morning Barbados tomorrow, because it's middle of the week already. Hump Day, that's absolutely right. So we want to remind you of the FCCA inaugural Owen Author Scholarship that's coming up. Of course, that's an opportunity for you to get some money for a foundation, a community group, a charity, whatever there is, to be able to do some project that you want to do. So make sure you go online and check them out. Of course, the deadline for application is June 24th. So you still have a little while to be able to get that information in, to be able to share. That is the FCCA Inaugural Owen Author Scholarship. We have the BTMI come in and tell us a little bit about it a little while ago. So make sure that you check that out. Also, coming up tomorrow, we're talking HR with HERMAP. In that particular segment, we're going to be sharing with Rebecca Hines, HR professional, on the topic Morale Matters, how engaged employees elevate customer satisfaction. And we know that's a particular area that we certainly have been trying to bolster of late. Doc Talk, we have Dr. Paul Rouse. He will be in to talk about that. And Son of the Soil, who's doing wonderful things outside of Barbados and winning Omatali Beckett. We're going to be talking about his Daytime Emmy Award. How about that? And he appeared on the Kelly Clarkson Show. So we're going to share that and a whole lot more tomorrow on Morning Barbados. So have a great day today, but come on back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.